this is tropetrinitytrilogy, and today I'd like to give you the weird writing tip of why you should draw your characters. Woo! So this might not apply to everyone. However, personally, I find drawing characters inspires me to both think about them and also research the type of things surrounding them. Especially if it's historical fiction, I have to research what they'd be wearing, or if it's a sci-fi, I have to research what they would be wearing in that sense. So yeah, I don't necessarily think this works for every author, but if you are the artistic type of author, I definitely think this is something that will help you and inspire you. So I would like to get to drawing for this video so you can actually see the types of things I draw. So yeah, let's go to that. So I decided to do most of this video looking at a paper since it is all about drawing. So the truth is, what your character looks like doesn't particularly matter. However, when I was little, I always like to know what characters look like because, well, there's a couple reasons. One is because it makes the novel visually interesting in my head, which I know it is not a medium that you look at, so you wouldn't think it's that big a deal. But for people who like to imagine stories, imagine characters, it is interesting. And so giving a bunch of characters a variety of descriptions makes it interesting. It can make some characters stand out. And also by describing your characters, you can depict their personality or your situation. So I guess depict/reflect them. So if you have a character that is very poor, they might have a lot of dirt on them, whereas they might have ragged clothes of dull colors, and they can't really afford more than one outfit, whereas a rich character could have tons of jewelry and have a different outfit every day. And again, please don't describe every outfit, but you can just say they wore a fancy ball gown and then mention it's a different color one, and you're like, oh, they're rich, they have different clothes. Wonder what that's like. Also, one thing I'd like to say is that I also like to draw characters in different stages of the story. So at one point my character might be healthier, whereas if they end up starving or in this hard location, their clothes may become ragged, their hair could become dirty and messy. My hair's never messy, whatever. And they might end up losing weight. So again, these are things to take into account, and that your character is not always going to look stagnant. So even if you're drawing them, know that they're going to change their appearance. And also one thing I'd like to do is give characters flaws, because a lot of books, they really skimp over the flaws. And one thing is that tons of people have things that aren't considered conventionally pretty, so I think those are nice things to add in, such as tons of people have zits and acne. I totally don't have them. And those are things that I like to include to make them feel more real. The benefits of drawing my characters helps me visualize them so that I can achieve all of these things that I listed above. I have no clue if I'm spelling this right. I'm sorry if I spell it wrong. And then also, though, by drawing my characters, it helps inspire me to write them, and also inspires me to think about them. Think about what they will wear and to better develop my characters. And also it encourages me to give them flaws and to think of things that they would physically have on their appearance. And also it makes me research the type of things they would wear, whether it's a historical fiction and they need historical clothing, or it's a sci-fi and they have some bionic suit and I need to research what the bionic suit would be. So when drawing characters, I like to give them a lot of variety. And variety can stem from the face to the body. So your character can be tall, they can be short, they can have a long torso and short legs like this person apparently has. They can have a round face, they can have a pear-shaped body. These are all things you can consider. And there's tons of things. And honestly, the biggest one to me, though, is to give characters something that is conventionally considered a flaw or a distinct marker to make them stand out. Now, a good example of this is in The Hunger Games. Katniss has her braid, which I can't draw braids, so the braid, woo. Which YA character is this? Katniss. And then there's other things that characters have that stand out, like Harry Potter has his big glasses and the scar. Whereas indie book I read that this is something that really stood out to me is the love interest, Layla in The Savior's Champion. She had a little freckle, but it's probably a mole, and she just used the word freckle because people tend to think moles are like that, I guess. But she has a little freckle right beneath her eye, which again, I've never read a book that specifically mentions one specific freckle on the person or a mole. So again, that's something that stands out, and that really brings into question, like, why don't characters have more birthmarks and stuff like that? My sister has a birthmark, I have a birthmark. Where are all these characters with birthmarks? To demonstrate what I mean by making characters very different, I would like to show 3 different characters I designed. So this is Sonia, the protagonist of my Roman story that I'm currently obsessed with. And then these are 2 protagonists from a different story I am writing, a space sci-fi. This is Xena, and this is a character who is going to be anonymous for now, because I sort of have an idea for a name, and even if I do have a name idea, I'm not sure if I want to tell you her name. So yeah, so these are both protagonists. To demonstrate, these are all very different characters. You can clearly see she's short, she's average height, and then she's tall. But then you can also see how their outfits affect who they are. So she has like braids on one side of her ponytail, which is kind of edgy, but also her hair's pulled out of her face to show that she's very active and she takes herself very seriously, so she puts her hair back. Whereas Sonia, she's pretty active but doesn't really pull her hair back as often. She does sometimes though. But yeah, you can see she has a bionic suit. It looks more like armor. I haven't perfected what her suit looks like, but yeah, she has a bionic suit, whereas she's wearing a hospital gown, which is completely different. And then she's wearing traditional Roman clothing, which by researching their clothing, it not only helped me just draw them cute, but I ended up researching traditional Roman clothing and realized that the dress that Sonia's wearing is called a chiton, which is kind of like this type thing where it has straps put on by clasp, and then the dress is just like kind of flowy, and then it has a strap under the chest and around the waist, so pretty much exactly like Meg from Hercules. So they got that accurate. However, one thing I didn't know is that Roman women commonly wore a stola, which is a long square piece of fabric. So a lot of times they would either wear it as a veil over their head, or they could wear it draped over their shoulders like a shawl, or even just tied around their waist to accentuate the waist. However they really wanted to wear it, it didn't seem to have any laws about how they had to wear it. So I decided to have Sonia wear her chiton around her shoulders, but also wrapped up a bit higher so it covered part of her face, because I thought it was cute, and I want her to like be able to hide her like nose behind it and peek her eyes out like she's a little anime cute character with one of those dramatic scarves that a lot of edgy anime characters wear too. So yeah, but also one thing is that even though this piece of clothing, and also though, when writing the story, knowing that she has this piece of clothing will affect what she does. So now that I know she has this, I know that when she's doing something active, she might want to take it and tie it around her waist so it's not in the way. Or if she's being sneaky, she's going to wrap it over her head so that people can't identify her. So again, that's something really interesting that I didn't know till I had to draw this a couple days ago. So again, that helps me. Whereas with this Anon character, I ended up designing the hospital gown that would be used in the series, which in turn helps me design the logo of the company that runs the hospital, and also affects what everyone in the hospital is wearing, because they're all going to be wearing this. And so one thing I would like to know is when drawing this, I originally was just going to draw vertical lines of circles all the way across. But I got bored partway through and just stopped. And I was like, you know what? I actually really like how it looks just having a strip of circles. So I think that's cool. And by physically drawing her, I ended up changing what her outfit's going to look like in a way that I really like. So yeah, that's just a fun little thing that happened. I don't know how to draw toes. Beautiful. Beautiful. But anyway, so I ended up designing it in a way that I initially wouldn't have if I hadn't physically drawn her. Also though, I would like to know is that when researching things, I also know that hospitals tend to want to have calming colors like pale greens and pale blues, so I took that into account when drawing her gown. Whereas with Xena, I haven't completed her outfit, but I looked up different bionic suits, and this one is terrible looking. But, so I haven't completed it, but I will use physical drawing to help me figure it out, just like I use physical drawing to design her outfit. And another thing I would like to note is I gave Sonia physical things that would be considered physical flaws by giving her very bushy eyebrows. Make that a bit closer together. Very bushy eyebrows. Having her very ruddy red skin, because I know a lot of people in real life who have red blotches on their cheeks, nose, and chin. So I decided to give Sonia that because why not have someone who looks that? I've never read a book character, period, who I can think of or remember who has that feature. So I thought I'd give my protagonist that because it's something that isn't conventionally considered attractive. I mean, people put makeup on to make their foundation, their skin all the same color. So obviously, conventionally, people are trying not to do that. So I thought I'd give that to her. And I also gave her very messy, bushy hair. Whereas with the anonymous character, also you can say that they all are very different. Sonia has a heart-shaped face, she has a round face, and she has an ovally face. And then she has smaller eyes in them, a straighter nose and thin lips. She has full lips and a wide nose. And she has a small upturned nose and small pouted lips. So again, very different looking, even though they're all girls, fairly about the same age. I mean, they aren't the most different looking, but willing them. And again, you can see body types. Sonia is a pear-shaped. Anon is an hourglass, and then Xena is a V shape, which is kind of covered up by her armor, but trust me, she's a V shape. But yeah, so again, I just wanted to show you what my characters look like and explain to you how drawing them actually helped me design the hospital gown for the story, and also pushed me to research what they wore in ancient Rome so I could draw Sonia accurately. And again, by having to physically draw them, I pushed myself to give them features that are different. Also, one thing I was thinking I might want to give the anonymous character some moles on her because I think those are cute. And I don't really see characters with like spots of moles on them. Like, you know, people who have like little flat moles on them. Like, yeah, like give her some moles. I think moles are cute. Is it just me? I think they're cute. So, yeah. Get those moles, girl. I don't like that mole. She can't have symmetrical moles. One per knee. Asymmetrical moles only. But yeah. Mole her up. Okay. Maybe not that many. It looks a bit like chicken pox. But the point is I like to make my characters look different. And I like to give them variety. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say right now. So, let's get back to my face. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. These are my 3 characters. I hope they look different to you. I tried to make them look different. Though, obviously, these aren't my only protagonist. I do have a lot more characters. These were just the first ones I thought of because I've been recently drawing her, and then she's like my main protagonist. And then her, I was just like, who do I know who doesn't have big hips, because the other 2 kind of do. But yeah, so again, I hope this was helpful, and I would love to hear what your characters look like. I definitely think it's fun to know that, and maybe if tons of people describe their characters to me, I would love to draw your characters and maybe do a video of that. That would be really fun, because I just want an excuse to draw. Now, obviously, it'd be my interpretation, but yeah. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful, and I hope you didn't hate my drawings. They were rushed, so I will say they aren't my best work, but I think they're cute. So yeah, and again, I definitely think if you are the artistic type, or maybe if you're not, you should try drawing your characters and see if it helps you. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.